Friends, happy Wednesday. Tamara Ross here with My Life, My Design, talking all things money. We're doing something really special, which I am superbly excited about because we usually don't go live on Wednesdays. I usually don't open up all my secrets the way that I'm doing, and we've decided to do that today. So I am going to open up. We are also going live on Instagram because that's just how nice we are. So give me a minute and let's get Instagram going as well. What do we say? Dun, dun, dun. Give me one more moment. There's a button that I have to hit to go live. There we go. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So as you hop on, oh, hi, Jamie. Hi, Kanika. I love it. Hi again, because we've already activated our emerald flame of consciousness, our emerald sacred flame in our body, our being. That one's for health, healing, and abundance. And now we're talking all things money. So I'm super excited. Let's see. Oh, Jamie, Kanika, Adriana, Elizabeth, Kat. What's up? Hey, Vicky. Welcome to the party. And hi there, Jamie and Melissa. You guys are there. And Shane, a new addition to our afternoon. Oh, you're so welcome for this training. So this one, we're talking all money. And then we just got done with our 20 to 20 meditation. That just wrapped up on Facebook. How is the camera? Is the camera okay? It looked a little fuzzy. So I want to make sure we do this funny thing to make sure that the camera's in focus. Hi, beautiful. Hi, Lindsay. Okay, so we're talking all things money. We had amazing group of people. Hi, Pamela. Welcome. Lindsay, welcome. Laura's here. Hi, Erin. Hi. Everybody, join us. Invite your friends. I'm peeling back some of the secrets to growing wealth and abundance. And lo and behold, we did it on this day of the fifth ray of consciousness, which has all to do with abundance and wealth and health and well-being. So, oh, I look like a dime. My camera's good. I'm glad everybody's on point. So we did something really special, which was we actually opened it up and had different people submit their money questions. Like, what are your biggest money challenges right now? What are your money questions? How can I serve and how can I support? And that's where we started this afternoon's conversation. So I'm really excited to dive into that because the cool part is it doesn't have to do with what I think your money things are, what I think you're dealing with. These are actual questions that I get to answer. So we're talking all things building wealth and abundance, disappearing debt. We're going to go into disappearing debt today. So building wealth and abundance, disappearing your debt, opportunities to increase your money streams, how to make the best money choices for you. Hey there, Natty. Welcome to the party. Hi, Jay. Welcome. And also we're going to cap it off with like you living in financial freedom, like having the abundance mindset that's going to get you into that financial freedom space. And if you stay till the end, I have something really special I'm announcing today. Today I'm announcing it. So you have to stay all the way till the end. And I'm also going to show you my secret sauce. So for those of you who have heard, maybe you haven't heard, I went from being in over $80,000 in debt. That wasn't my mortgages or my house payments or my car payments. That was just credit card debt. So being over $80,000 in debt, moving myself into having a multiple six-figure income, creating a business that's may hit that seven-figure this year, seven-figure profitability. Seven-figure in revenue, but multiple six-figure profitability scale. So growing my wealth, my abundance channels, and it has to do all with everything that we're talking about today. So I'm going to share with you like that secret sauce at the very end. So I want to start with questions and answers and really start moving us through the energy of abundance and then anchor in the special announcement with my secret sauce at the end. So I want you guys to stay with me. I'm planning probably 45 minutes to an hour for this conversation. So that's why we're putting it on, it'll be on IGTV so you can access it later if you can't stay for the whole thing. And also on the Facebook Live here. But this is your chance. As we're discussing money, or if it pops for you right now, make sure you go ahead and in the chats, put your questions or your biggest money challenges as we're moving through this. And I'm interested in if you're finding, so if you have somebody who's around you who's been like dealing with money, or they're dealing with their caca and their stuff, and you feel like they should be here, share with them the link, share with them the live, share with them this recording if you're watching it later. So actually share with them this secrets, because it's not actually secrets, it's just energetic mastery, and moving you guys to wealth and abundance more quickly than say what the 3D reality allows for. And so that's really what we're diving into today. So if you're just joining us, we're talking all about money. We're diving into all the details about money. So if you're just joining us, you have any money woes, you're in the right place, friend. Let's see. And also, yeah, so tag people or share with them the video. You can always do that. So we're going to dive right into the questions. And we've asked people if I can use their names inside of the questions that they submitted. So if you said, yes, I'm using your name. If you said, no, I'm not using your name. That's kind of how we work that. Because some people, money stuff can be embarrassing. But what we also want to do is we want to like take off all the embarrassment around money or where you are with money, so we can just be empowered and we can unleash and really have the wealth and abundance that is your birthright. Because that's really what we're here for. In the energetic realm, I'm interested in you having the wealth and abundance that is your birthright, not just what you quote unquote deserve, that's a human condition, but whatever it is you want, whatever it is you desire, whatever it is you say that you're creating, that's what I want you to have. So let's start first with Gabriella. So Gabriella had messaged us and said, how can I make more income as a CNA? And I knew that was like a certified nurse. I didn't know what the A was, so I looked it up. So as a certified nurse assistant. So we actually have, we have nurses in my energetic self-mastery program who've created multiple streams of wealth. Okay. So if you have a 9-to-5 job, this is a great place to start. If you have a 9-to-5 paycheck and you're like, I'm not an entrepreneur, I don't have the ability to like multiply my income because I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm not a business owner. What we want to do is we'd actually move you through and into receiving money in multiple ways and multiple avenues. So this is going to start off with, what are the judgment, point of views, and conclusions? Okay, so we talk a lot about this. This is something that I actually was trained in first primarily inside of Access Consciousness, but there are a lot of spiritual teachers who are now talking about your judgments, and they may not say the same word. So you want to look, judgments, point of views, conclusions, and truths. These are the single biggest limiters to your money flows. So if you are, let's say, a 9-to-5 employee, or you happen to be like a certified nurse assistant, you are putting your time and money and you're receiving dollars for your hours. So it feels very limiting. And you're like, wow, well, I go and I work like 20 hours, 40 hours a week. I don't have any other time, money. Like I don't have any other time to give somewhere else. Okay. So you want to actually remove, and you want to look, everybody who's here, who you're having this conversation, you probably have some judgment, point of view, or conclusion about money, something that is limiting you about how much money you can make, how much money you could receive, where you get your money. And especially if you have let's say you have a paycheck, right? Because then what you get locked into is, I only make the money from my paycheck and I don't have anywhere else to make money. Okay, so one of our nurses in our program started relinquishing and removing these judgment, point of views, and conclusions. And she started creating money coming in from a lot of different ways. Now, here's the other thing. My chief operations officer, for those of you who don't know her name's Laura Gildsdorf. She is brilliant at removing judgment, point of views, and conclusions around money. She's actually received money. We counted it out. She's received money in over 100. I think she was like up to 190 or over 100 different ways. And so if you look, what you may notice is, oh, my parents want to give me money. A significant other wants to give me money. There's a way to have a money come through a loan. And all of those things don't happen until you remove the judgment, point of views, and conclusions. You like literally can't see the opportunities. Oh, there's Laura. See, she's on here. She's like, yeah, that's me, right? Laura, remind me, how many different ways have you received money? Go ahead and put it in the chat just to like blow people's minds a little bit. Okay. So if you have, so this is how energy works. It's the law of attraction. If you say, I can only receive money in one way, it's a paycheck, or it's a person, or it's alimony, or it's I've been, on my parents' for docket forever, but there's no other way I can receive money. Then what happens is the energy field aligns in, that's the only way you can receive money. By simply clearing out the limitations, the judgment, point of views, and conclusions about how you receive money, you open up more opportunities to have money come to you. Now the cool part about this is, specifically about this, once you start to do that, we have people who, are in my trainings or in my company, and all of a sudden they'll be like, oh my God, I just got this check for $200. I just got this check for $1,500. I just had this thing, this settlement got settled, and it was like more money than I was anticipating. The IRS stimulus check is a way that I've received money. See, there you go. Insurance reimbursement is also another way. And credit card points. So Kanika's playing the game now. She's removing her judgments on how she receives money, and she just identified 3 more ways. Laura herself has received money in 192 ways. So your judgment, point of views, and conclusions about receiving money and how money wants to come to you are the single biggest limiters to growing wealth, expanding your money flows, and growing your abundance energy field. Okay, cool. So Melissa put in the comments, you just lost your income, so you need help trying to stay positive. So then Melissa, make sure that you stay till the end, right? So here's a lot of things that also happens. We have amazing creators that get attracted to us, specifically me, my programs, Energetic Self-Mastery, working inside of like my life, my design, amazing creators that come into my field, and they say things like, I really want to create this, but, and they have a job, or they have a 9-to-5, or they have something that's standing in their way, and their soul is calling them. Their purpose and their higher self is calling them. And they're like, you know what, but I'm really tied to this job. I'm really tied to this thing, and I'm really tied to the thing I'm doing. And then all of a sudden they lose that thing because it wasn't in alignment for their highest self and their highest purpose. So Melissa, you're on here and you said you just lost your income. I am interested. Do you feel pulled like your purpose? There's something bigger calling for you to create. And that may be why that job has now been kaput, or that income source has been kaput. Because sometimes we need a fire under our ass in order to create, right? So if you're one of those people who needs a fire into your ass, you may create fire under your ass. Okay, so that's the first one. So it's the first question from Gabriela. How do I create, or how do I make more money as a certified nurse assistant? So you can always negotiate pay. You can find other avenues in your field. You can create new streams of income and new streams of revenue. And it's also opening up your awareness and removing the judgment, point of views, and conclusions about how money wants to come to you in any one way, so that you can see all the ways. And this is something that I'm really magical at, because I've grown a business. So for those of you who don't know me, I've created the Energetic Self-Mastery program. We have over anywhere from 40 to 50 participants in that course. I train coaches inside of Energetic Mastery. We have 16 coaches that are in the training program. We have 3 head coaches, and I have my ops manager, Laura. All of these people come to us to create their life their way. Like, no, we don't compromise in our field, in our trainings. And so this is about having everything go your way. This is about stepping into your birthright, stepping into abundance, and stepping into the magic and the limitlessness that is you. So removing the judgment, point of views, and conclusions, and having abundance rise is also part of that. So one of the other things I want to mention, Gabriella, our nurse really stepped into owning her intuition. So she's created now multiple streams and multiple businesses as a nurse and using her expertise. And She's also started playing the stock market using her intuition, and she's training other people on how to play the stock market using her intuition because she's really skilled at like trusting, surrendering, and using the intuition. So notice that if you're looking at, I have a job and a paycheck and that's the only way money comes to me, that is the single biggest limiter. We take off the judgment, point of views, and conclusions, and now we have all the different places that money wants to come, and all you then have to do is surrender and act. And that becomes the magic of what there is to do. Yeah, so Laura was saying I found money on the street, and these are all people who are in our energetic self-mastery program, really like taken holds of removing judgment, point of views, and conclusions. So Laura found money on the street. Ray, who is my sister also in the program and works in my company, she got $250 this weekend as a surprise. Adriana says I received $220 for being a care provider and needing PPE for work. So she got another bonus. And Heather got a random overpayment refund from closing on her house about 9 months ago after the fact. So she got another check in the mail. So these are all the ways that money starts to come to you. Now, if you have judgments like, well, I overpaid here, or somebody owed me that anyways, it wasn't money that you had before. So you really want to open up your the opportunity of being in gratitude for as the money comes as well. Okay, so that's question number 1 from Gabriella. Thank you. Question number 2 was an anonymous person. Didn't want us to use the name, but the question was, how do I pay down debt, get better at prioritizing what is worth spending money on, and make more money without working harder? So this is like a multiple answer question. So this is super yummy. So how do I pay down debt? How do I get better at prioritizing what is worth spending money on? And how do I make money without working harder? So the first thing that we need to do is we want to look at, we're going to go into another couple of questions about debt. So I just want to identify, and again, if you're just joining us, we're talking all things money, financial freedom, paying down debt. We're moving into the energetics of money and having you have everything you desire. So that's what we're talking about on this bonus Q&A today. And if you stay till the end, I have something special. So if you are noticing this is helpful, tag a friend or share this with somebody, because this is all the juicy stuff I could give you today. Okay, so let's first talk about the energy of debt. I can't go any further until I talk about the energy of debt. So first is debt is something that is gone. Like if you think about debt, the equivalent of debt is something that is gone forever. You're in debt to something, it's like disappears. So we live in a world where we have identified there are debts and then there are investments. And when you invest in something, it comes back to you energetically tenfold, or it comes back to you equal, if you will. So, people when they go to college and they have a tuition, they don't go, oh, I'm now in debt for my education. It's an investment in their future. That is how when people go to college, they say, oh, this is an investment in my future. And because they're investing in their future, and that is the energy behind their choice, what shows up after is, oh, I put my time, I put my energy, and I put my money in my education. I'm investing in my future, and then my future expands, if that was their energy. So we have to go back into the energy, right? So now when you go into debt, again, we have lots of questions about debt, and you're talking to the person who was over $80,000 in debt, just credit cards, right? When you go into quote unquote debt, this is something that you're not ever getting back. Just notice the energy behind it. It's like you threw it away. It was a night out on the town. You put it on your credit card, and it wasn't an investment in your future like your college education, right? So there's an automatic energy of wrongness. There's an automatic energy of you did something that you shouldn't do, and the debt that it is like gone forever, if you will. So just look real quick and notice when the word debt shows up, does it feel good? Are y'all like, oh yeah, love my debt? Or are you like somewhere else? Okay. And then let's look at a couple of the comments coming in. Okay. Melissa said, I've been feeling like I have to move, but I'm not sure how to do it during a pandemic and money being too tight. Okay, cool. So we want to also, Melissa, remember, step one, we were looking at judgment, point of views, and conclusions. Okay, judgment, point of views, and conclusions. If you're saying that money is tight, then money will be tight. You'll actually create it. You guys are magical creators. Magical creators. And so whatever you say, whatever your thoughts are about money, that's the energy behind it. And we're going to get to this, and I think in a couple questions, in a couple more questions, there's an energy you put into money. Money is simply energy. You're either expanding it in abundance or you're expanding it into a contracted state. So Jamie says, debt makes me cringe. The word debt makes her cringe. Heather, the word debt feels heavy to her. Right. And in some ways, it's how we've made ourselves wrong and keep controlling things, right? So Melissa, just notice, like, money being tight, that seems like it's a contracted energy. It does not seem expansive. So maybe we find a different way for you to relate to your money, which is my goal today, and also for my bonus announcement at the end as well. So I have something really special. So here's where we want to start. So how do I pay down the debt? I would have you first lean into that your debt was some sort of investment in yourself. So when I looked at $80,000 and being in $80,000 worth of debt, I looked and I said, okay, well, look, this was an investment. This was an investment in me. This was an investment in my future. This was an investment in what I was doing, because I love personal growth and development work and I love building my company. And a good majority of that $80,000 of debt was courses, something that I chose, something I was creating. I went into debt with upgrading my house at the time. So I had all of these things that I had said yes to inside of my creations that had put me in quote unquote debt. But when I really sat with it, I looked at it and I went, okay, well, here's where I am now. First of all, there might have been choices that were unconscious that I made that put me in the hole. But where I am now, am I willing to now make all the choices about money, what I'm spending my money on, from a conscious place? And I got right with myself and I said, yes, I'm willing to make all my choices from a conscious place. If I'm willing to make all the choices from a conscious place, then the debt that I've incurred up until this point was a training lesson or in complete alignment with me. And so therefore it's not a debt, quote unquote, but it is now an investment in the next level of my future. The second thing that I started doing was I started asking questions about the choices I was making that was like that I would need to invest in, right? So I shifted it from being in debt to actually an investment in myself. So if I was investing, like let's say you go and you invest in a house, you take out a loan for the house. You buy a car, you take a loan for the car. You invest in a company, you usually have people who will back you with money, or you have a money backer. All of these things are investment, the same with your college education. Why is it not the same then if you're experiencing life, using your credit card or something else that actually brings you joy and fulfills you? And that's where we want to look. We want to look at what is the energy behind the choice of the spend. The energy behind the choice of what you're spending your money on. So if the energy, and this is a really cool book I loved, which is The Soul of Money by Lynn Twist. I read it probably 10 times, earmarked all the pages and highlighted it. The Soul of Money talked specifically about the energy behind the spend. So if it's something that lights you up, something that makes you happy, something that brings you joy and is soul-filled, and you spend your money on it, you are investing energetically into that thing. What comes back to you energetically? That thing or more, because it's an investment, and it's all about where your energy field is when you do it. So here we are. Debt is not wrong. Debt is not wrong. If you're consistently in alignment, investing in yourself, and the energy behind it is high vibe frequency, then the law of attraction is what will come back to you is the high vibe frequency. Cool, right? Now, if you're choosing things that are in alignment with your soul and they're juicy for you, now we have a double frequency high vibe, right? So there are multiple things that I had no money in my bank account. I had a credit card. I could choose to put it on a credit card, but I made debt wrong. But there were things that like my soul screamed for. My soul was like, this is where we want to go. And one of them was my first program with my spiritual teacher. And that program, I was making like $700 a month, and the program was like $3,500 for 5 days with my teacher. And I knew that it was an alignment for me. So I put my money down. I was like screaming for me. I put my money down. And then what happened is I took on 3 new clients, and that had never happened before. And so that is like when it's juicy for you, when it's like your soul screaming for it, and you say yes and you honor it, and you're like, look, the money's coming in all these ways and it's an investment. What happens is it comes back tenfold, which it did. It tripled, like I tripled or quadrupled my investment in working on myself monetarily, and also from a being of service standpoint, because I got to serve those souls who came to me at that point. Okay. So if you're looking at how to pay down debt, right, you want to look at first getting right with it's not debt, but it was an investment. And that's where you are now. It's an investment. We want to start having you ask questions. And this is how you prioritize what's worth you spending money on, right? And so the prioritization, or like that was the question, is how do you prioritize what's worth spending money on, right? But if you're asking the right questions for yourself, like, will this bring me more money? This is an easy question, my friends. It's an easy question. And it doesn't make logical sense if you let your intuition guide you. But if you say, hey, if I go on this coffee date with this person, will it make me more money? And you have to be clear in your intuition. And the intuition says yes, and you go on the coffee date. It'll make you more money. It may be now, it may be later. You're following your intuition. It might be you go, hey, if I go for a walk in nature today, will it make me more money? And it goes, yes. Now here's what you want to do. The training now is to get out of your logical system. Get out of your logic system. So your logic system will say, well, of course, if you go on a lunch date with Bob from Investment Management Systems, it could make you more money. That was not the question. If I go on this lunch date, will it make me more money? Yes or no? Your intuition will be very quick. And it may be a no to going on a lunch date with Bob from the investment systems, because that may not be an alignment for you. It may be a waste of time. It may not da-da-da-da-da. It may be going on a lunch date with Bob, the dog barber, might make you more money. And you have no idea how that could actually happen, because you don't have a dog, you're not into barbers. But all of a sudden you go to lunch, and then he connects you with 3 other people for business opportunities. You're like, oh my God, that made sense. But you don't know unless you tune in, you hone your intuition, your intuitive skills, and you make choices from your intuitive place. So like, we have a year-long program. It is $15,000. I'll just be straight with you. That is the cost of the program. When people come to us to do the program, sometimes they're like, I am being pulled and my soul is calling. And you go, great, will it make you more money? And we ask these questions. Will it make you more money? And they get a yes. We go, will it create more in your reality? And they get a yes. Will it bring you more love and abundance? And they get a yes. We go, okay, then you do the program. If they get no's, we go, you don't do the program. It's very clear, and it's all intuitive based. But if you were training yourself to be that clear intuitively, you would make and execute choices in your life like this. This happened with me with my house in Florida. I was ready to go like full in under escrow. We had already done the deposit. We had already done the payments. We had already done the inspection. But there was like the day that you were never going to get your deposit back, that day. And there was something misaligned. I'm like, we're out. My dad and I were buying it. I was like, this is not it. And what came up right after it was the perfect house, a bigger house, a nicer house, a more pristine house that was less money. And it came up right after I said that no. So those are like big intuitive choices. So you pay down your debt again by making those intuitive choices as well. Like the opportunity, like, do you know everything that you're in debt for, how much you're in debt for, the percentages, your APRs, when payments are due, and then you look at it as a whole. And so from this standpoint, I've actually done this really well. How did I pay down $80,000 worth of debt? I just looked at everything as a whole. I had my intuition at play. I chose which bills I was going to pay when. I started creating bigger, stepping into bigger, and clearing those judgment point of views and conclusions. Money started to come to me. I didn't pay all the debt down right away because I don't have anything going on about debt. And I still use my credit cards and dance around and play the money game. And I started looking at, what am I investing in on myself? What am I investing in on myself? And when you start stepping into this, and this is kind of the secret sauce that starts to happen, you'll start making more money, and you won't have to work harder doing it. You'll actually work less. You see, 80% of the stuff on your to-do list, 80% of it probably doesn't need to be done today. 20% of it might make you money if you're asking the questions and following the energy. Now, here's the cool thing about asking these questions, and then we're going to move on to the next question. I told you it was super juicy today. You want to invite all your friends and tag them. I know you do, so just do it, okay? So when you start asking these questions and you start creating, here's the deal. You call the universe in to partner with you. Okay, so you can do this with any creation, not just money. Let's say you want more sex. Everybody is the two things people want more than anything. They're like, more sex, more money, right? So let's say you want more sex. So we'll take money off the table. You want more sex. Well, then you would say, okay, well, if I do this, if I clean my house, will it make me more sex? Bring me more sex. Or you could say, if I go out to coffee with this person, will I have more sex? If I go for a walk in nature, will I have more sex? So you can start asking the questions like that. Now, if we replace the word, hey, what's up, Ashley? Welcome to the party. If you replace the word sex with money. So if I go for a walk today, will it make me more money? If I clean my house, will it make me more money? If I go on a coffee date with this person, will it make me more money? Just by simply asking those questions, you're doing a couple things. And it is not specific you ask the question out loud or not. It's not specific. But by asking the questions, you're calling the universe in to align in the reality that you're creating, and the universe knows what reality you're creating based off the questions you're asking. So if you're asking for sex, guess what's going to show up in your field? More sex. If you're asking for money, what's going to show up in your field is more money. But you have to be willing to trust and surrender to the answer that you get. So if the question is, if I go on a walk in nature, will it make me more money? And you get a yes, go for the walk in nature. If you get a no, do not go for a walk in nature. Unless you ask another question, will it serve my body? Will it make my hair grow longer? And that's something that you want. Or will it bring more joy to my life? And you get a yes for those, then go do it, okay? But what I'm saying is, if you ask a question and you get a no, do not do the action. If you get a yes, do the action. What you're saying to the universe is, I am more than willing to take any action I need, any action that is requested, any action that is in alignment for me to make more money. I am willing to take any action that is needed or any action that is required to gain more sex, or whatever the thing is that you're creating. So the questions and then the action after that is in alignment with the yes, you doing it is showing a full aligned space and energy field in partnership with the universe. That is what is happening, okay? So if that makes sense, go ahead and put it in the chat. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, I'm doing that. Oh yeah, I'm not doing that. Or oh yeah, I'm going to do that. Because this is a big step for you guys to be able to actually make money without working harder, which was the third part of that question. So we covered how to pay down debt, how to get better at prioritizing what to spend your money on, which is different than anybody else, right? Because you want to make sure it's juicy, it's an alignment for you, and it's what it's creating. And how to make more money without working harder is actually only taking the aligned actions, following your intuition, not just doing everything on your to-do list that your brain and your calculator is saying. Okay, Ashley's saying it totally makes sense. So I'm going to take a break before I go into the next question. We've got a couple more here. Before I go into a couple more questions, I'm going to take a break and just look at the comments real quick. So, okay, so Heather, debt feels, I've been able to transform the word debt into investment in my future self. So that's awesome. And so Lindsay, it happens to be an ESM participant. She's in our year-long course. So investing in your future self. So that future self, that activation, that creation, and if you say yes to something in there, you're investing in that future self. So now the future self is activated in the creation, the investment. That's awesome, Lindsay. Way to go. How cool is that? A great reminder and sounds so juicy to play in these energies. Oh, I love it, Danielle. Thank you for joining. Let's see. Mimi's reading The Soul of Money right now. Melissa said, yeah, I need to learn to open more so it comes to you. Cool, Melissa. And Elizabeth says, I've manifested and received $1,000 while in this money conversation with us all. So just being in the money conversation, Elizabeth Lanahan has activated her money flows. Elizabeth happens to be a coach. So you guys are all in good space today, huh? Let's have some money. Also, today is the Emerald Flame of Consciousness. We activated that in our meditation series, which also happens to be abundance, health, and wealth. So there you go. We're all in alignment today. So if you're just joining us and you're new to the party, we were talking all things money, abundance, wealth. I'm giving you all the juicy goods. We're talking questions and answers. I've got another 2, 3, 4 questions or so that we're going to go over. If this sounds like you, stay tuned. I've got something really special I'm giving you at the very end of this conversation. I'm giving you all my secret sauces, and I'm announcing something special in relationship to money that I'm giving you for free. So I want to make sure that you stay to the end. If this sounds like something that it's pinging you to share with somebody, tag them, share this conversation. I'm giving you all the yummy bits and pieces. Let's see. Danielle said, totally turned my debt into the joy of what I did with my money. Trips with her family, home investment courses, and it's so good. Does this also help to attract people? What kind of people do you want to attract, Angie? Let me know. You can attract anything you want. You're an infinite being. We teach it all. Jamie says, I've been clearing the judgment of where money wants to come from, and I've been less afraid of what I can spend it on and what my bank account looks like. So you're trusting the money is there and that more is coming. Being in the energy of trust that it's there and more is coming activates that more is coming, just so you know. When you're in the field of scarcity and concern and debt, then it's like, and that energy is in your money, and it also multiplies in your life. You guys are infinite creators. You sometimes forget. Growing business and teams for sure. I would say, Angie, inside of growing business and teams, I would look specifically at calling in souls that are in alignment for you, with you, and want to serve on the level that you are serving. So that's how I would say business and teams. So we do that within our company. Our company is growing immensely. So we call in the souls that want to serve at the level that we'd like to serve, right? And it's what's had us grow exponentially as well. But yes, you can do this the same. So talk to them, use your intuition, use your higher self, use that calling, use that connection energetically. And if you have deeper questions, Angie, I'm more than happy to help. You can always DM us. Okay. All right. So here, this one is from Coco, Mr. Zidzul from Malaysia. He says, how can I clear my debt? I currently have $200,000 in debt and made myself a promise to clear it by this year. Okay, cool. So let's just talk. So we're talking about debt again. Told you, we all get crazy about debt. So if you have a wrongness, let's talk about this real quick too, just to clear it out of space. If you have a wrongness about something that you've invested in for yourself, the wrongness, that wrong will always trump the energetic field that you're trying to create and contribute to. So if you invested in yourself, and I think, Coco, you've probably invested in yourself quite heavily because I know you and I love you and you're such a creator and a contributor, right? But if we haven't identified that there's a wrongness about the investment, about something that you chose on your path, and then it gets kind of meshed in with like a wrongness because you chose it and now you have this much debt. I want you guys just to look. We have so many judgment point of views and conclusions about debt. And then we have people out there saying debt is wrong. You need to pay it off and you have to do it by this time. And if you don't, then da-da-da-da, and you don't want to go to the grave with your debt. First of all, if you go to the grave with your debt, who cares? You died. Y'all ever think about that? You're like $200,000 in debt and then you die tomorrow. It's like, yeah, and so what? Nobody ever thinks about that. They're like, I need to get out of debt. I'm like, yeah, but if you die, like, okay. Like, we'll just bring a little levity to it, if you will. So we want to deal with the wrongness in the background, because in the energetic field, you're going to give more weight to the wrongness of the debt and you for choosing it, rather than like the high frequency of contribution of the field of why you chose it to begin with. Okay, so look at the energy behind it, which is what we're doing with the words debt. Look at the energy that you give when you look at your finances. So look, I'm going to peel back the pieces and give you all the secret sauce at the very end of this. But one of the pieces that I want you to be aware of, when I was $80,000 in debt, I knew who I was in, I knew which credit cards I had balances on. I knew the exact down to the penny balances. I knew what I owed every month. I knew my APR percentages. I knew if I had like, they would send me like, 0% for however long. I knew those too. I knew everything about my money and all the bills that came in and all the places that I had agreements with. And when I looked at it, if there was any negative energy, I would go in and clean that up immediately. So if I felt weird, if I felt awkward, if I felt disempowered, I went in to clear the energy, period. Right? So Coco, Zidzul, anybody else that has a debt conversation, you want to look to, okay, well, if I'm not empowered by it, then it's not a high vibrational frequency, then it's not me, and then we know exactly what to clear. So we want to clear the judgment, point of views, and conclusions about debt itself, and then we want to look at the money game. So the money game is not that complex. We have decimal points and zeros running around. You can take loans from somebody and then you pay them back at a particular rate based on the agreement. You don't, they may send you to collectors, right? You can invest, right now you could invest in a house, you can invest in property, you can invest in the stock market, may go up, may not. Okay, you have a bank account. Some bank accounts you have to keep X number in your bank account. You have agreements to your water company. You have to pay that water bill on time or they turn your water off. This is all money agreements. And then there's money games, which means most everything in life is negotiable around money. So if you're looking at how to clear a debt, I would look at, well, what are the money agreements around the debt that you have? Because right now around COVID, some people are willing to forgive debts or renegotiate your agreement to the creditor. So if it's a lump sum, they may forgive a large portion of it because it's a lump sum. They'd rather have money than say that they don't have the money from you. Okay? If it's a bunch of different creditors, you would just look at different agreements and different conversations to have. Right now, if you have a large sum of money that you're in debt, once we clear the negative energy around the debt, around the field, I'd be interested in putting you in the power seat of money. The power seat of money. Being in the power seat of money is different than being at the effect of your debt and the effect of whatever you've invested in, because there's still negative energy behind that. The opportunity to be in the power seat of money is actually driving it, making new agreements, and having things disappear like this that may have seemed overwhelming before we had this conversation. Okay, so notice that. So that one's for Coco Zidzul. So I gave you a little, like, and I know he's in Malaysia, so he's probably sleeping right now. Bless his heart. But I gave you some ideas on ways to kind of work that or pay that down. And if you're really interested in, like, you're like, look, I said I would have it cleared. So you go, look, will doing this contribute to paying off my $2,000 of debt? Will doing this contribute to me paying off my $2,000 worth of debt? Will having coffee with this person contribute to that? Will doing this activity and project contribute to doing that? And if you get yeses, you do all those things. And if you get no's, you don't do it. See, what we did was now we're asking questions specifically to what you want to create, which is, you know, either creating 2,000 or more or paying off that quote unquote debt. I really don't like that word. Okay. I have a little sip of my coffee and look at more comments real quick. Adiana, the more I listen to this, the more it lands for me. Cool. Mimi says, I have a friend who's living on a credit card, paying the minimum and trusting that the life insurance will cover it when he departs. He's responsible to the planet and he's having a fantastic life. I love that. He's like living on the credit card, paying the minimum and trusting that his life insurance is going to cover everything. That's awesome. A new way to think about it. No wrongness, because in this place, we don't do judgment, point of views, and conclusions. So welcome to the place where nobody's going to judge you. Adiana, I've been making the decision to settle wrong, which has been lingering in my field. Got to let that go. I think maybe I read that wrong. Settle wrong. Okay, Lindsay, after clearing judgments, point of views, and conclusions and being unemployed for 5 months, I began trusting and surrendering completely to my intuition and have aligned in a job offer with a mortgage broker firm and have intuitively been guided to become a loan signing agent as well, a notary public. Thanks to ESM. Woohoo! Okay, cool. So like following the path, trusting your intuition, allowing it to guide you, and surrendering to the process fully. And now you, notaries, man, those people, that's like such easy money, I feel like. That's awesome, Lindsay. Congratulations. Cat Black happens to be a past participant. Welcome to the party. She said, I just had the realization that I've been focusing on my debt instead of how juicy it would be to have over 200,000 in my savings. Awesome. Okay. So if you're focusing on the debt and not the juice, the universe is going to give you more debt. So what you put your attention on and your intention and your attention, that is what grows. That's where your energy flows. That's where it will grow. So I invite you all, know what's happening with your money. Don't obsess with the wrongness in the energy field. Allow yourself to actually focus on a creation that is juicy enough that it activates every cell in your body. You get so excited about it. That happened with my house. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Okay, cool. So this next one, my income is not sufficient. I'm worried about how to pay my debt, and I'm worried about how to get married due to my financial issues. And then this anonymous person gave me lots of details about their financial situation. So thank you for doing that, but we're going to keep them anonymous. And he says he's confused as to what to do. So there's tithing. So there's loans, tithing, salary, rent, and then there's food and transportation. And so if we look at the actual equations that this person shared with me, like what's left over is like nothing. So if any of you feel really stuck, you're like, look, I get a paycheck and my salary goes to my rent and my expenses, and then I have food and transportations, and then I tithe and I donate, and then you're like, now what do? I don't have any money left over. So if you're new to the party, we're talking all things money, abundance, wealth, prosperity, and growing our money things. We've been doing Q&As up until this point, so that's what we're doing as well. If you know somebody who would benefit from this conversation, tag them or share this video. And then we're talking about, I'm going to announce something very special that I'm doing for free at the end. So you want to stay till the very end to support you guys. Okay, so this person actually brought up tithing. So I want you to think about, we're going to go back to the energy behind how you spend your money. And tithing is one of those things that has received a negative connotation to it, like a negative energy, like a have to. Right? So think about anything that you do that you have to do. Anything that you do that you have to do, the energy behind it feels like obligation. It's not fun. It's like, when you had to go to church when you were a kid and you had to get dressed up to go to church, you weren't having a good time. You were like, I have to go to church. I'm missing out on my morning cartoons. Somebody's making me dress up and I have to do the thing, right? And it could be church, or maybe it was like, I have to go to the football game with my dad, or I don't know. You had something in your field when you were younger that you had to do. If you are making donations or you're donating to something based off of a have to energy, and that's what tithing has turned into a lot of times, a have to energy, then you're putting that in the field. So where is the juice and where is the joy? That's a very, very honest question that you could just ask yourself. Where's the juice and is the joy? If tithing if it's juicy for you and it brings you joy, then I invite you to do that more often. If it's not, I would stop quote unquote tithing. I would find places and things and people that you want to give money to that make you excited. Right? And that could be a waitress. And it could be, like around Christmas, I play the game where, can we double and triple tip people? That means take the check, whatever your bill is for dinner, and give the waitress or waiter the same tip if they're amazing, right? Or if they're having a bad day, who cares? But I play that in particular times of the year. Now maybe I could just play that whenever, right? Tithing has also, for me, looked like being in a place and noticing somebody in need of something, and I just gift it. So I remember doing that. I bought somebody a mattress, a single mom who had 2 kids who was trying to buy her kid a mattress at a store, and I just took care of it before I walked out. That was my way of tithing. Those things show up in the very real instance where I get moved. And I feel that love and I feel that joy and I put it into my money flows. So think about that for a moment about quote unquote tithing. Like, is tithing a thing that you have to do, or is tithing the thing that you get to do when you're like overflowed with joy? Okay. So because this person has a salary and then has already allocated all their funds for the salary, I want to look at a couple different things, which is we want to look at, again, we're going to go back to this question, which is how many different ways does money want to come to you? We want to ask that question. We want to activate that energy. What else? We want to ask this question. What else can you do to create more income, wealth, and abundance? What else can you do? Because when you have that salary, that paycheck, and then you feel like it's all gone, you get stuck. And you're not asking questions of creation, you just get stuck. We want to start asking the questions of creation, because that's what's going to like explode. That's what's going to expand your money flows, is asking the conversations of creation. Now you're building a partnership with the universe when you're expanding these questions, okay? And I'm going to lean into, we're going to say this again. So if you're asking the question, like, if I do this, will it make me more money? So you may go through like, if I tithe this month, will it make me more money? If you get a yes, tithe. If you get a no, you may not tithe. Will paying my electric bill this month make me more money? If you get a yes, do it. If you get a no, maybe don't do it. Sometimes as electric bills, it's not like they turn your electric off if you don't pay it right away, okay? But it's the stuckness that's creating more stuckness. So we got to get you out of the stuckness. So anybody that feels that stuckness, we want to like get out of the stuckness. We want to create something else. Hi there, Micah. Welcome to the party. Okay, we're talking all about money, friends. We're talking about money, abundance, wealth, prosperity, how to grow our money flows and how to create more. We're also talking about how to get out of debt and the energies behind everything. So stuckness creates more stuckness. How do you get out of it? You have to be willing to ask questions. You have to be willing to be surprised. You need to be willing to use your intuition and then act and execute in alignment with your intuition. You have to get out of the logic system. Like, if you send me, like this particular person sent me how much I make and then all the detailed aspects of how the money goes, which means there's a deep logic system innately in the process. And if you're stuck in the logic system, the universe can't contribute to you in any other way. So you're not going to make millions and millions and millions because you're stuck in the stuckness. We're stuck in the logic system. You get this paycheck and then it all goes out. And then of course you get confused. Like, I don't know what I should be doing. Okay. So we want to get you out of the logic system. We want you to trust your intuition and your higher self. I want you to start asking questions and then follow the answers. And if you need support in doing that, please reach out to us. We're more than happy to serve. Okay. Moving through my questions. Let's see, I have 2 more questions on the docket. So I'm going to take a quick sip and then read through the comments as well to make sure we're all on the same page. I love you all. You guys are doing great. Is this fun? Okay, cool. Let's see. Mimi said, I try to remember to bless all the money coming and going out. And when paying bills or donating money, wishing it well to the receiving party. That's an awesome practice, Mimi. I used to say thank you on all my bills. So I'd just be like, thank you. Like the water company gives you water and you have an abundance of water and like you never thank them. I'm like, thank you. Here's my money bill. Like, here's my money. Thank you for giving me so much water. This is amazing, right? So think about that, okay? We also do money dances. So my family and I, when we receive or we have some project that goes well, we all kind of do a money dance. So that's been fun for us. It's a way to celebrate money coming in, celebrate money coming out. Okay, I love that money game. I'm already a good tipper, but how fun to give even more. Yeah, if it's in alignment for sure, right? Let's see. Cool. And Shayna, I'm so loving all of this. Thank you. You are so welcome. So welcome. Okay, the next question on the docket, again, if you're just joining us, lots of questions. We're announcing something special at the very end. You got to stay to hear about my free gift to you, darlings, for being with me today. So let's see. So this is MJ. MJ she was in my ESM program for a year and then moved into a coach. And she says, as opportunities present themselves for me to get bigger, So do the investments needed to make the opportunity turn into a reality. And she goes through this process of seeking funding for the opportunity, only to come to the conclusion that she needs to, and prefers to self-fund her endeavors with money channels that she's already created. So she want to know, do I do the same? So first and foremost, I want to just commend MJ. So here's the cool part about money. I want you guys to look at this for a second. If you start noticing your money conversations or your money experiences, you'll know, like if you really notice, what you'll notice is you're always being taken, like you always have enough. So if we look at like even the question that just got asked, this person has a salary and like has enough laid out. So he always has enough. We turn that enough into some scarcity conversation. We turn it into, oh gosh, I want more, or I want to choose more, or I want to create more, but I can't choose or create more because this is all I have. I have just enough. So I actually want to invite you to do something really interesting, which is relate to yourself as the universe is always giving you enough, and choose a thing that expands you just a little bit. And then choose something that expands you just a little bit. So if you're in the energy, let's say I did this while I was expanding my money flows too, and I had $80,000 worth of debt. I was actually expanding myself into luxury, and I was expanding myself into pampering energy. And so what I noticed is I always had enough to cover everything. Even if I was in debt, I still had enough. Everything was covered and taken care of. And by the way, I was the breadwinner for my husband and my daughter. So I actually was sustaining a family of 3. And there were months where there was no money coming in. Then there were some months where I made $1,500. That was like the real deal. But I expanded it because I looked around, I was like, well, our bills are always taken care of. Everybody has a roof over their head. Everybody has food and water. Like, we're all taken care of. So I started inching myself out of that paradigm. And I started playing with the energy, which meant I was like, well, what if I added massages once a month? Wonder if I'm still taken care of. And the massages brought me joy, and the energy behind it was luxury, and the energy behind it was pampering. So I started to expand. Okay. And so I started to choose one thing every month that I could add in to notice that I was still taken care of. My money flows were still there, and I had more joy and enjoyment in my life. And then here's where the magic started happening. Okay. So those are asking those questions, being in intuition, and then executing in alignment with your highest self. So MJ's been doing this. And so what she's saying is like, okay, well, now I have these business opportunities, and Melissa, I think you just got laid off, but MJ went through that too. Like she went through a bunch of job changes and stuff like that. Okay. So MJ keeps expanding. The money wants to expand. Her investments need to expand. And so she's like, and then she's noticing it all comes from her. Like she can generate those investments. And so she's asking if it happens or if it expands in the same way for me. So the cool thing, so MJ, just so you know, my business model is like really different from yours because I don't do big investments. I actually, my business is not brick and mortar, and we deal with expanding consciousness on the planet and people's personal transformation. So it's not necessarily like sales like you or a widget or a brick and mortar. So when I looked at this question, what I noticed was how I relate to this is kind of how I relate to like my real estate investments in my houses. So I had a dream about 10 years ago to have a house in the mountains and a house on the beach. And so I started creating it and having that in the background and aligning in it. It wasn't like an everyday conversation, but it was definitely in the background. Like I knew that's where I was going, right? And so I had opportunities to step into like, well, what energy field is that when you expand into like being a multi-house vacationer, right? And like, what kind of houses are those? And so when I went looking for houses, it wasn't immediate. And so I want you guys to get this from a creation standpoint. It wasn't immediate that I got the house that I live in now. And this was my first over $1 million home that we purchased. It's in the mountains of Colorado. It has beautiful views, and I feel very taken care of in this house. But it was a process. So I actually had seen the area and found the city that I wanted to live in and the space I wanted to live in probably like a year and a half prior to me buying this house. It took me a year. So I knew it was something I wanted. So MJ's asking about, like, as opportunities present themselves for her to get bigger, like, and the investment gets bigger, like, how does she handle that, or what does she do, right? For me and MJ, she has a vision. There's a vision of something bigger, right? I got tuned in for my houses and in real estate. I got tuned into where I wanted to live, the kind of house I wanted, the space I wanted, and it felt really big. And to be honest, I couldn't qualify for that house right away. So again, I kept asking the questions, intuitively asking questions, intuitively growing my company. I even, because I knew that that was what I wanted, you guys, this might blow your mind, I paid more taxes last year, the year before, I don't know, I paid more taxes in the last couple of years than I needed to. I didn't actually need to pay as much taxes as I did, but I did because I knew I wanted to live in Silverthorne. I knew I wanted to live in the mountains of Colorado, and I knew I wanted to be able to qualify not just for this house, but another house on the beach. I knew that. And so I was actually willing to pay more taxes to qualify and show that I had more income. So that's something different. So this is like the opportunity for following the energy for what makes your heart sing and what's going to contribute to you. Not playing small, not being small, not being in a small energy field, but actually expanding into a huge energy field. And here's another question that you can ask that I think would be really helpful, which is, what do I need to be and perceive to make it all happen? Like, I'm going to pay more taxes and claim more income because that's the next level of where I'm going. I know that. I don't need to be in scarcity. I don't need to play small. I can actually step in and play bigger. So MJ, I commend you for playing bigger, for having those money flows show up for you. And then to step in and go, oh yeah, it wants to come through me, because you're magical with money. You've just started owning your magic with money, but it's something that you're really good at doing inside of our coaching body. So you have the opportunity to do that. You just have to be willing to be in the process of the creation, because here's the real story of it. There's no roadblock. There's only what you believe and what you perceive, but there's nothing blocking your opportunity. There's no roadblock in your way. There's no obstacle to overcome. We make that up. What there is choices and creations. That's what there is. That's all that there ever is. So you have a choice in how you want to relate to it. What I'm asking you to relate to is to relate to the abundance, to relate to the wealth, to relate to the money, to relate to it as it is who you are, as your birthright. Make sense? Okay, cool. Mimi said, I'm loving this. Have to get on a work meeting at noon. Look forward to the recording. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You're so welcome for the gift of saying yes. Thank you, Mimi. Melissa said, that's how I was thinking until I lost my income. Now it's like, no, it wasn't all I deserved. I should be doing more to get more. You should just be like, look, Melissa, let's take out should and deserved, right? Let's just say, like, Melissa, it's now time for you to create. It's now time for you to create, love. So in the creation, what do you desire to create? How much money do you want to receive? What is it you want to be doing that you'd like to be getting paid for? That's the opportunity now. Finding your purpose, finding your path, finding what you're really passionate about, and then let's have you get paid handsomely for it. What do you say? Okay, cool. So here we go. So the big announcement, and then I have one more question, but I know people have to go. We have one more question I'm going to answer and ask. So I have created a money multiplier masterclass, which means on Tuesday, April 13th at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, I'm spending 3 hours training you for free, darlings. I'm training you for free at my Money Multiplier Masterclass. So I'm going to show you how to expand your wealth, expand your prosperity, expand your abundance. And this is everything that you're not going to learn anywhere else. Why? Because we talk about energy. We're going to talk about the 3D realm mixed with the energetic realm. And that's where we really expand our money flows. So as you notice, what I'm talking about is I'm talking about the energy behind the money you're spending, but I'm also having you be aware of the money that you're spending, how to make choices, how to choose your path. And that's everything that's going to have your money expand. So in that 3-hour training is where you want to come if you're interested in having more wealth, abundance, and prosperity in 2021 and beyond. Okay. Now look, I have followed all the experts and all the gurus, and it wasn't until I started working deeply with the energy of money that everything changed. So that's where I want you guys, invite your friends, come join me, register. I still have one more question to get to. So look, if you're wondering if this training is for you, just real quick, just look, if you're interested in disappearing your debt, which seems to be some of the questions, if you're interested in freedom of choice in your life, like how you want to spend your money and you're actually in spending your money where you want to spend your money, not looking at your bank account to decide where you're going to spend your money and where you're going to say yes. If you're interested in that, then you don't want to miss this class. If you're looking for your side hustle to bring you more money, like maybe you've created something on the side and you want to start like really generating income through there, like then this would be for you. I'm not going to show you how to budget. So it's not for you if you're just looking for like how to budget on spreadsheets, how to cut back on the things that you really love so that you magically have more money in your bank account. That's not what we're going to do. We're actually going to infuse the next energetic field inside of you, around you, and in you so that money comes to you naturally. Okay, so 3 hours, we're going to learn how to master the secrets of the millionaire mindset. I'm going to have you tap into the ease within your like financial planning. Like how do you make choices and decisions with your money? We're going to have you stop breaking even every month and instead operate in abundance and flow and wealth and growth. And you're going to quit. Like my ultimate commitment to you is that you quit the stress of budgeting. Like stop stressing out about your budgeting in order to step into that flow and that abundance. I'm going to show you a better way to just activate abundance and activate the flow and activate the wealth and activate the prosperity. Okay, so that was my big announcement. Like I said, I noticed I was like, gosh, we're already at an hour because I can just talk about money forever and the energetics of money. And I can answer all the questions. So, I love you guys. You're amazing too. Thank you. You're welcome. It is a beautiful gift, 3 hours with me talking all about money. So make sure you share with your friends, your family, yourself. Get yourself registered. If you're on Instagram, we'll have a link in the bio. Here on Facebook, it's right there in the chat. So make sure you let everybody know about it, because even if you have money, you probably would like more money. Yay or nay? Yay. Let's start there. Carrie Boberia says, my whole experience in reality with money became so fun and easy with the ESM program. Whoop, whoop. That's so true. Energetic self-mastery. That's what ESM stands for. Okay. Last question, and then we're going to wrap it up because we have 3D things to get to, I guess, right? All right, cool. So Tina Lee is in the program. She said, what's the difference between money and abundance and wealth? Very simple question. I'll be diving into that into the money multiplier masterclass as well. I want you to think about money as agreements, right? So that's like when we talk about the money game. Money is agreements. It's decimal points and zeros. It actually has an energy behind it. Abundance is the energy of multiplying your money and multiplying quite everything that you can think of, honestly. And wealth is the 3D accrual of money. So think about it. Wealth is like money in your bank account. What is your net worth? That's wealth, right? You know, what kind of car do you drive, or how much is your car worth? How much is your house worth? How much is your bank account worth? That's a wealth. So wealth is the 3D like experience of money. Abundance is the energetic experience of money. And money itself is the game we play. It's just a bunch of agreements. It's kind of like time. We all agree time exists somewhere, time is doing something, and we agree on it. Money is the same. We agree that, like, here we go. We agree that this credit card, right, can get me something if I go to the store. That means this is money because we all agreed on it. That's what that means. I have a check. I write it. I have an agreement. It comes out of my bank account. Right? We now have Venmo. That's an agreement. It comes out of the bank account. Okay. You go and you spend something monetarily. It's just an agreement. What you'll notice is it changes from country to country. So it's not actually a complete set agreement. And exchange rates change day to day. So it's actually not a set agreement, but we all agree on the standards of what that is. That's money. Okay, cool. Where did money originate from? Another agreement. an agreement to operate in society. So it used to be like an exchange of goods and services. We used to trade. There's no trading anymore, right? Now it's just money. It was a simplified process, similar to time. Time, one of our biggest limiters. Y'all bitch about time. That just goes back to like the farmers used to use the sundial for the crops, and then we became, an industrialized society. So now we had, agreements to keep at particular times of the day. So we actually used a calendar based on 365 days a year, which is not even the same as the lunar calendar. So go figure that. And depending upon what religion and what cultural background you have a different calendar, right? So money originated similar to the same agreements of time, but money and culture, there are still cultures out there that don't use money. They have a more collective, a more cohesive agreement space, and they're different. So not everybody operates on the same money agreements. So suck on that for a while. Hi there, Nassim. Welcome to the party. Okay. What are some examples of new contracts to make and receive money? So we open up this and unlock this in the Energetic Self-Mastery program. Okay, so contracts to make and receive money. If you guys are hustling, if you're working 80 hours a week, and you say that's how you make money and that's how you bring in clients, then consider that you have a contract and agreement to do that. You've activated it in your field. So one of my contracts inside of money is the more I facilitate, the more money I make. The more I facilitate, the bigger my company grows. The facilitation not only happens for my Energetic Self-Mastery course, it not only happens for my free 20 to 20 meditation series, but it also happens on free trainings like this one and Q&A calls and my free Money Multiplier Masterclass. So think about that. What I've said is the more that I facilitate and the more that I guide, the more money I make. It is not based on solely on you're saying yes to me for my year-long program, and then that's how I make money as CEO. And I make money in a lot of different ways. I have investments and I have different avenues that money comes to me. So think about that for a second. So those are new contracts that I've curated. The more facilitation I provide, the more money I make. So we find new ways for me to facilitate, and sometimes absolutely for free. You're welcome. Okay. And let's see what options. So you guys can make those as well. So I had one client who came in. She said the more that she loved playing with her dog, it brought her so much joy. So she said the more that she played with her dog, the more money she made, and her sales went through the roof during that time period. What you have to do when you make those contracts, you have to remove all the limitations, judgment, point of views, and conclusions. Sorry, but that is the truth. Okay, so. No more judgment, point of views, and conclusions, because then you perpetuate more judgment, point of views, and conclusions. What we want to do is we want to clear that field, have it be pristine and clean, and then you make a new contract. So the more money, the more time you spend with the dog, the more facilitation, the more vacations you take, the more joy you have, the more coffee you drink. You choose whichever agreement is going to make your heart say, the more I do that, the more money I make. And that is how you activate that money field. Hi, Shelly. Welcome to the party. If you're just joining, I just released, we've been talking for about an hour all on money. I just opened up registration to my Money Multiplier Masterclass. So you guys can come join me for free for 3 hours of facilitation at that. Also, last question of the day, all from Miss Tina Lee. Thank you for this. What options are there to make a side hustle? What options are there to make a side hustle? So I want you to just think about anything that your heart desires. Money is just an agreement. So a side hustle can be as simple as, I love making chocolate chips and I want people to like pay me for my chocolate chips. That's a side hustle. You guys, there's tons of MLMs that people get really connected to a passion or a purpose that way. That can be a side hustle. A side hustle could be playing the stock market and just following your intuition. Side hustles can be almost anything. So if you're passionate about something, your purpose is following, and we also have the brainstorming your brilliance option. But Tina, you're also in my program. So purpose, path, what do we have? We have Dharma, Karma, purpose, path, Dharmas, and Karmas. I think that was the module, but it's all about your purpose and your path. Dive into that one. Find out what makes your heart sing, and then let's activate, I know you're going through a lot of transition, so we can activate whatever that is for your personal experience on this planet at this time during this time. And there's tons of ways to make a side hustle or start a side hustle, but also like it doesn't have to be a hustle. So what if you have a side money maker and we take hustle out of the equation? What if we do that? Because I think that's more fun. Who wants to hustle? What if you were just vacationing and people were paying you to vacation? What if you were like traveling the world or just eating yummy food and people just paid you for that? Wouldn't that be cool? So we want to find what you're really passionate about, because that's where the juice is. That's where like your joie de vivre, right? The yumminess of life. That's where all of that lies. So just pay attention to that. Again, it comes back to the energy behind the thing. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. We were meditating, we were oming, we were doing some amazing work earlier today. Now we were completing out on this free Q&A money call. So if anything popped for you, pinged for you, you need added support, feel free to DM me either on Facebook or Instagram. You can always email your friends at My Life, My Design. My team sends those to me. We will be back tomorrow, Thriving Thursday. So we'll be live on both of these channels as we do the last meditation live of the series, but we have 3 more days to meditate together. If you want to meditate with us, you can absolutely do that as well. Hop on, join us. This has been Amazeballs. Well, thank you, Pamela. I like it when I'm Amazeballs. Angie, you're so welcome for today. Make sure that you register for the Money Multiplier Masterclass. Don't miss that. Bring your friends. 3 hours. We're going to dive in. It'll be on Zoom, so you'll be able to ask questions on Zoom as well. Cool. I am in. I want to earn money to stop living in fear. Awesome, Melissa. Let's just have you stop living in fear, have you earn money, but not based on either or. Adiana, mind blown. Money is just agreements. That's all it is. I know. We make it so significant, and it's not significant. Melissa, yay! Debbie says, I love the contracts idea. Yep, we train a lot of people in those contracts all over the place, especially in the Energetic Self-Mastery Program. Adiana, thank you for being a gift and a contribution. You're welcome, my love. And ooh, paid to travel. So effing juicy. That's right, girl. You can get paid to do whatever you want. You just need the new agreements. And then you have to honor them. So like, if you're like, the more I play with my dog, the more money I make, you best be playing with that dog like 24/7. You know what I mean? Because then if you start ignoring your dog, you just gave all the money flows like the big finger. Okay. I love you all. Message us. Let us know what you need, but please share this information, share this Q&A session with your friends and family if you think it would benefit. Invite people, have them join us. We just opened up registration, but I think we may already have over 100 people registered, maybe up to 200 people registered for our Money Multiplier Masterclass. So we're going to be live in person with me on the Zoom, talking about all things money for those 3 hours and giving you boatloads of my time because I care and it's time. What better time could we be doing it rather than during all this crazy financial stuff everybody's dealing with? I love you madly. Happy Wednesday. Ta-ta for now. Message me whatever you need, questions that you have and things that I might answer. And have a fabulous, fabulous rest of your week, lovies. And I'll be seeing you register. And then I'll be seeing you, April 13th, Tuesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Bye-bye.